Guys in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porch Light Letters podcast number 2170. Do you know what's going to happen in 21 days, which is 3 weeks from today? We're going to be celebrating episode 2191, which is the end of year 6 of doing consecutive daily lives. 2191. We will be doing that in 3 weeks from today. So I'm super excited about that. But anyway, back to tonight. You have to excuse my eyes are still playing up, but I got my refresh eye drops. I am so happy. I just put some in, so my eyes are a little. But when I haven't been working on my computer, I have actually been off the computer, off all electronic devices, and just resting the eyes, and that seems to have been helping as well. So tonight, episode 2170, not there yet. That's what we're calling it. It's not there yet. It is episode 4 in our theme of the week, which is in the meantime. And so we're going to head up with not there yet. So let's talk about in the meantime and not there. What happens when we're not there yet? I'm going to put my notes over here and make them super big so I apologize for there's all this crusty stuff around my eyes, which is kind of concerning me, but we'll hopefully be fine tomorrow. Let's see. Let's have a look. Sorry, I just made my my notes rather large. Make text bigger. It's amazing what happens when you say make text bigger. It makes it nice and big so I can it's very fuzzy, but I can kind of read it. So in the meantime, volume 11, and this one is not there yet, which is episode 4 of volume 11. There's a tender tension in those words, not there yet. It is a place most of us know well, the middle space where progress feels invisible and the finish line feels far off. But what if not there yet is the real work and the real becoming is where the real work and the real becoming actually happen. What it teaches us is that being not there yet doesn't mean you're behind, it means you're becoming. Progress isn't always visible. Sometimes it's internal, quiet, foundational. The middle isn't a failure, it's part of the rhythm of growth. You can be unfinished and still whole. You can be in process and still be proud. But what happens when you stop measuring your worth by how fast you're moving? What happens when you start doing that? You may not be moving that fast. What are you doing? You let go of timelines and tune into trust. You marry the process, divorce the results. You've heard that a lot this week. When you're not there yet, it's because you have married the process and divorced the results. You begin to honor the small steps, the slow days, and the unseen shifts. You soften towards yourself in the middle of becoming. I tell you, it's a very interesting place to be. This week with this topic, it has really hitting home with me this week. All the pauses that are happening, taking the 2 steps forward and the 3 steps back and all of that sort of stuff that seems to have been happening this last month. It's been very interesting. So how we carry forward, we pause and notice where you are without judgment. Don't judge yourself on any of this. Celebrate movement, even if it's not the kind you can quantify. So you may be moving, but you can't quantify it. Don't worry about it. Celebrate the fact that you're moving. Say it out loud if you need to. I'm not there yet, and that's okay. Those who follow us need to see that it's okay to still be figuring it out. Oh, that reminds me of, so years ago when I was a teenager, this sentence, those who follow us need to see that it's okay to still be figuring it out. Remember when I was a teenager, I went and stayed at a chicken farm. We had a family in our church who had a chicken farm, and the wife, somehow I ended up going and staying with them for a week and helping the wife out around the home to look after their 4 children. Yeah, they had 3 boys and a girl. And we would get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we would go and make the guys like a snack to go out before they headed out to the chicken sheds. And then they went and worked out there while we got breakfast ready. So they sort of had like a pre-breakfast. Then they came in for breakfast, and then they left, and then they came back later for morning tea, and then they left, and then they came back for lunch. You're getting the idea. We had like 6 things that we had to get ready for them. So there was pre-breakfast, breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, and dinner, and then we had a supper at the end of that. So we were constantly in the kitchen doing this, as well as keeping up with all the housework and stuff. And she was teaching me a lot about how to run a house, especially on a chicken farm. And I mentioned to her at one point, I said, I'm on my school holidays. I'm not, so I mentioned at some point about being the fact that I was on school holidays, so therefore I should be taking a holiday from learning. She stops, puts her hands on the counter. She turns and looks at me and goes, Helen, it doesn't matter whether you're in school or not. You never stop learning. You are always learning. Life will teach you lots of lessons on the way. You don't just learn in school. You learn in every minute of every day. This sentence, those who follow us need to see that it's okay to still be figuring it out. That reminds me of what I got told back during that week when I was helping out in the house, that we are always learning. No matter what, no matter where we are in life, we are always learning. And that has stuck with me forever. So like, I'm out of school. I'm not supposed to be learning anything else. No, by then I was on my recruit course, which is boot camp for the Air Force. And I was learning a lot on that one. But I always got reminded that no matter what happens in life, we are constantly learning. Learning is a life experience. So I got taught that one, and those who follow us need to see that it's okay to still be figuring it out. That being in progress isn't something to hide, it's something to honor. Being not there yet is often where our greatest wisdom is shaped. And now we have reflection questions for you. And your reflection questions are designed to be written in your Porchlight Reflection Journal. And we have the Porchlight note pages where you can write the reflection questions on there, which aren't in your book. And grab a copy by scanning the QR code up here in the top left-hand corner. And your reflection questions for today, there's 4 of them. Excuse me. Where in your life are you not there yet? And how can you meet yourself with grace in that space? What small wins or signs of progress have you overlooked lately? Remember, we're always looking for those small wins so that we can celebrate them, because when we celebrate wins, it boosts our vibes. We go onto a higher vibration. When we're on a higher vibration, we're attracting more good stuff towards us. If we're not celebrating the wins, we kind of just push them off, and we kind of get that attitude of like, well, why should I bother doing that? And what happens? We start attracting the negative to us. So by celebrating the small wins, so what small wins or signs of progress have you overlooked lately? Go back and start celebrating those small wins, and you'll start attracting more good stuff to you. You'll raise your vibration, and when your vibration is raised, you get more good stuff being attracted to you. Question number 3, what would it feel like to be proud of yourself now, not just when you arrive? I have to tell you, I am super proud of myself with doing all these podcasts. As we changed the whole format of the podcast to doing these weekly themes, I didn't pick the order that these were going to be in. I sat down with ChatGPT and we brainstormed a lot of ideas and things about what we could talk about and things like that. And I go, okay, well, what can we talk about this week? And it would give me 4 or 5 suggestions. And I'll go, and I would look at the 4 or 5 suggestions, and I would pick the order in which we were going to do those themes. So that was the only choice that I made on this. Is I said, what themes should we be covering? And the Porch Light Reflection podcast, Porch Light Letters, with our newsletter and everything else, came out of a 6-hour brainstorming session with ChatGPT after I had had an hour-long coaching session with my business coach and mentor. And I have come a long way since then. And out of that 6-hour brainstorming is how we came up with Porch Light Letters, because I wanted to change, because I knew that before the Dirt Nap had run its course and it felt tired. I needed to pep it up in some way. So, and during the brainstorming thing, I mentioned how I liked that my favorite time of the day is in first thing in the morning, last thing in the evening, as the sun rises, as the sun sets, to be out there before sunrise and just watch the world wake up. And that is my time to sit out on the porch, because one of my dreams is always to have a log cabin on a lake. And when you're sitting on the edge, sitting on the front porch of the log cabin, the porch goes 360 degrees around the cabin. You're sitting out there on the porch, looking across the lake. You're looking towards the east, and in the east across the lake are mountains. And you watch the sun come up over those mountains. And as you're watching the sun come up, you're sitting there. You're in your space, in your time, in your moment, where you just sit there and you think about things, you ponder things, you journal, you meditate. That is your time. You are in the moment and present there. And you watch the world wake up. You listen to the world waking up. You listen to the birds as they wake up and they start to chirp to welcome in the new day. You hear the creatures in the air, in the space around you, and them waking up and finding their breakfast, or walking down to the lake to have a drink. It's a very precious time of the day, which I absolutely love. The other time of the day I like is as the sun sets. And again, sitting on the same porch, looking east towards the mountains, but now you're watching the sun as it sets on the mountains, because the sunlight's coming from behind you and it's hitting the mountains, and you're watching that shadow come up from the bottom as the sun sets behind you. And you get all these beautiful colors on the snow if it's winter time, or that time of the year when it's on the snow. And again, it's that quiet time, in that moment, in that presence, when you're sitting there. You may be journaling about your day. You may be journaling other thoughts and things. You may be writing letters to somebody. But it's in that time, in that dusk, as the world is getting ready to go to sleep, and you're listening to all the critters and creatures around you as they're nestling down and they're snuggling down and getting ready for a nice quiet nap, and getting ready to go to sleep for the night. That is where the Porch Light Letters comes from. It's from that dusk or dawn moment when you're either watching the world wake up or you're watching the world going to sleep. It doesn't matter which. I love both times of the day for that. And it's in that quiet space when you sit there, and you might be writing letters, handwriting letters. Yes, I still handwrite letters sometimes. Sometimes I write letters to myself. I pull out a journal of some sort and start journaling in there. This is where this was born from. This is what happens when your coach and you agree that Before the Dirt Nap has run its course and we need to find something else. It may be something interim until August the 1st, which is when we start year 7, or it could be that we're starting it now and carrying it on through. Don't know yet. What's going to happen in 3 weeks? I don't know. What announcements we're going to make in 3 weeks? No clue. No idea. But that's where Porch Light Letters came from. And from that, we spun off the journal. We've got the podcast going. We've got the new logo up here in the right-hand corner. And we've got this gorgeous journal. And I absolutely love the graphic that I found here. That is the symbol of the porch light. To me, that's what a porch light looks like. And we have it on every page in the journal. We have it on the bottom right-hand corner of every page in the journal. That is our little logo. And then on the back, we've got our published by Porch Light Letters. And here in the front, where is it? Oh yeah, we even have it here at the bottom of the welcome. The idea of, and then my business coach said to me one day that how much he loved this journal and thought it was great, and he wants to see me do more of them of the same size. So in this one here, there's 21 prompted pages and 22 non. So the prompted pages are on the right hand side, and it says thought to reflect on. On this one, it says who quietly showed up for you and how. And opposite is Porchlight Notes, your observations, questions, and stories for freeform journaling. You can open this journal at any page. You've got a place to put the date. These pages are not numbered. It doesn't matter. You might turn around and go, oh, let's look at what does rest look like for you, and what gets in the way of claiming it. You might go, oh, that's a really good question. And you might ponder that question while you're sitting out there listening to the world wake up or listening to it go to sleep. And you might find an answer, and you just start writing. And then you get to the bottom of that page and you keep going on the opposite page. So you have that flexibility. And so that's when we came up with the idea of, well, we've been doing a theme a week. So we're actually making a journal to go with each week's theme. And what's going to happen in here, on the welcome page, right now it's, if you scan the QR code here on the welcome page, it takes you to where you can sign up for the Porchlight Letters newsletter that comes out every Monday. You can scan that and sign up for it, and you get a free electronic journal that has 5 prompts that are not in this journal. So we give you a sample size, but there are 5 prompts that are not in this journal. So what we're doing is that with the other ones is that when you get that QR code to scan, it's going to take you to the playlist on the YouTube channel for those episodes for that week that are explored in this. And the thoughts to reflect on will be these reflection questions that we give out every night. When we give out the reflection questions, they will be in here and be related. They'll be pulled from those episodes, and there'll be some new ones in there. Because sometimes we only did 3 a night for 5 nights, that's 15, but we only needed 21, so we'll come up with another 6. So that's what I've been proud of. I've answered question 3. What would it feel like to be proud of yourself now, not just when you arrive? I have not arrived to wherever it is I need to be, but I am proud of the progress that has been made along the way and what we have done with the Porchlight Letters, with this podcast, with the journal, with the newsletter that comes out each week. With the weekly themes and the different questions that we ask. So that's the story behind that. You'll probably hear that again on July 31st. We're going to have Casey here, as we do every year. On July 31st, he comes in and helps us celebrate the closeout of another year and helps us welcome into whatever we're going to do. I still don't know. We're 3 weeks away, and I have no clue what we're going to do. But wait, don't go yet. We have a 4th question for you tonight. So the first 3 questions were, where in your life, and remember they're in the description of the video below, where in your life are you not there yet, and how can you meet yourself with grace in that space? Number 2, what small wins or signs of progress have you overlooked lately? Question 3, what would it feel like to be proud of yourself now, not just when you arrive? And question 4, who in your life needs to see that it's okay to be in progress? And our closing thought for the evening, not there yet doesn't mean lost. It means growing. Trust where you are, even if the next step isn't clear. You're on the path, and that's what matters. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6.